Okay, so we're making a first look video on the PC dropped off by Stacy. This is the first time I've been able to check out this computer. The symptoms that were described were that the PC would turn itself off. So I'm taking off the side cover. We're going to check this out, see what's going on. Look at the motherboard. And just right off the bat, what I can see is the heatsink has popped off of the bracket here. So we have this screw, basically looks like it was over tightened on one side, basically right here, and the heatsink is completely popped off. So what we're going to go for here is to remove the heatsink. We're going to wipe down the heatsink grease, and then we're going to apply a fresh coat and then remount this liquid cooler here and make sure that the heatsink properly makes contact with the top of the CPU. Hopefully there's no damage, permanent damage done to the CPU. I'm going to go ahead and remove the lid here so we can scope it out. I don't see any scorch marks, anything too crazy. This does look to be a fairly recent Ryzen. So good CPU, and hopefully I'm going to unplug. And yeah, we got it caked on there, so we're going to scrub that and see what we get. Alright, so as previously mentioned, we've gone ahead and wiped down the heatsink and then reapplied a fresh coat of heatsink grease. Here we've got the Cooler Master High Performance stuff. So we went ahead and applied a layer. Got a pretty thin layer here on the CPU. A little excess right there. Clean that up. And so we're going to go ahead and remount this heat sink on top, making sure that we are careful on how we crank these screws down. So I'm going to need both hands for that. Alright, so it turns out the bracket is broken. So went to crank it down, and turns out this is where things went wrong. Is this little piece of plastic right here is totally shot. That is done for. So that's what holds the heat sink down. So we're going to go back to the scrap pile and see if I don't have a motherboard clip replacement for one of these. I'm pretty sure I've got one somewhere on the bench over here, so we'll scope that out. Alright, so now we've got it remounted. Basically what happens with these is they get over tightened, and if they get over tightened on one side more than the other, you get a little off kilter and those brackets will break. Been there, done that. It's no fun, but definitely somebody had the right idea. They were trying to tighten this down properly and get it to seat flush on the top of the CPU. Just got a little overzealous with cranking that down, but at any rate, back together now, looking good. So we're going to go ahead and try to fire it up and see what we get. Turn her on, and let's see if we boot. Make sure we're getting some signal here, and we'll ensure that we get into Windows or whatever OS is installed. Hopefully we're not going to get a power down here. So nice and quiet, nice little AMD build. Really, overall, haven't seen this brand before. This is a deep cool build, but looks like a pretty good little PC. So not too bad of a fix, quick and easy. Definitely up and running for us now, so we're looking good.